It's always a pleasure to hang out. And yes, we do go back, and you've been such a great student. I love to see all the success that you have made with this group and also in the Fortune Builders community. Just a quick, before I bring on Rebecca and JB, the other part of the team here. If you don't know me, some of you might, I've been from Fortune Builders for a number of years, first Canadian actually to join Fortune Builders. I have been a coach for a number of years also. You might have catch me on one of those live webinars or question and answers. And if not, if you were like JJ, the first time we met was at Ignite event, right? So actually at the broadcast booth and interviewing all kinds of students all over. So or might have been at a boot camp or in a bus, tour as well. So that's great. And it's so excited. And the tool we're going to talk to you tonight, we're also going to explain how you can use it in the real estate business. I wish I knew about it a few years ago. And I always wondered is how does the coach and the student get mixed up? Do you get matched, right? Because it was like, some people would probably think, nah, we're not spending time with her. Okay, and other people, it was like it was an instant match. Well, there is a science to it. We're going to explain it and explain how you can use it as well. And to help me do that, I have also from California. They're called the Dual Dragons, Rebecca and JB, and they're going to introduce themselves.
My name is JB.
And I'm Rebecca.
And together we formed Dual Dragons. It's been a couple of years, and that's even alone is a fascinating story how it began.
Yes, it all started with Mr. being diagnosed with cancer, and we're both neuromuscular technique specialists in neuromuscular for massage, but that's not like the spa kind. It's more for results for people with chronic pain constantly. And so we provide a service that gives them the results they need at the moment to be able to function.
And as we get started to share what this amazing tool was, at first, we were just sharing intuitively the messages, our scientific knowledge about what we're doing to help our clients. But of course, not recognizing their personality, we either push them away or they run for the hills.
Yeah, for some people, for some clients, it was just a little too much too soon to confront, especially when it comes to pain, because pain derives from any kind of trauma, whether it be emotional, physical, mental. So, it just, you really need to know how to talk to your client to prepare them for the process of healing they're about to embark.
Definitely. So we already shared a little bit of who we are, and we're just ready to get started. So we have a couple outcomes for you. Our first outcome is to reveal the secret to behind sales and why they buy. Our second outcome is to introduce you to the science of the B.A.N.K methodology.
Our third outcome is to share the system to supercharge your sales. And our fourth outcome is to offer you the solution with a technology and training that will help you to accomplish that.
Now, we're not attached to your decision at all, but we feel committed to provide this information to you. So are you ready to optimize your business and maximize your profits? Put that in the question box.
Yes. All right. So let's get started. Again, the B.A.N.K methodology is designed to help you increase your sales in less time authentically.
So Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, said the ability to sell is the number one skill in business. Not number two, not number three, but the number one. And this is important. The challenge that we found, though, is that most sales trainings we have been led to believe the greatest potential lie, that sales is a numbers game.
Now ask yourself, have you ever been told that? I know that I was. Well, in order to get more yeses, I had to get more what? Type it in. Yes, no's, right? Well, what if I told you that might not longer be true? That actually that's not how it should go. What the actual truth is, in order to get more yeses, you have to get more what? I hear you saying it, yeses. And we're going to reveal exactly how you can do that.
Now go ahead and write this down. Sales is not a numbers game. It's a people's game. And it's more important now than ever before. The fact is, Codebreaker Technology is the world leader in personality coding and technology.
Okay. Now, here's the science. It is based on personality science. Now, Sherry Tree, the co-founder of the Codebreaker technology, did not invent this in personality science. It dates back thousands of years back to Hippocrates, known as the father of medicine. When he discovered is that when he could organize the entire human race in different groups, and each group was so different from one another, he could treat them with medicine differently, just based on which group they were in. He called this the theory of the four temperaments. Now, here are some current stats.
Now, according to Salesforce.com, 67% of sales professionals, or whatever business you're in, right, miss their quota. Well, what does that mean? That means 2 out of 3 of you are not hitting your desired income goals. Now, next, another 87% reveal that a lot of people, they don't feel prepared, for dealing with their customers, just like you're going out to talk to those homeowners, right? And that means roughly 9 out of 10 of you. Now, even worse, the last, and which is the worst offender, is in my opinion, 66% of the customers reveal that they feel turned off by your presentation. And I'm sure you've experienced talking to a homeowner, and for some reason, they're just not getting it why they need to sell your house, right?
Ouch. Are you ready to turn those numbers into your favor? We're going to show you how to hit your quota, plus to be prepared every single engagement and make sure the customer receives your message 100% of the time and not be turned off. So how many of you would like to learn that? Go ahead and put that little thumbs up or high five, a little reaction. Okay, great.
You see, the most common mistake we make because we are creatures of habit is that most likely we're presenting in our primary personality code. When you speak, you're only connecting on 1 out of 4 personality codes, and that matches only your own personality type. And chances are you're going to get a yes for your type, right?
So did you realize how financially catastrophic delivering the wrong presentation 3 out of 4 times to the personalities can be? That means that you're not leveraging 75% of the business is being left on the table. Also, referral business. And we need referral business. That's how a lot of people get clients. Now, what you're doing, this is true, you're feeding your competition at a rate 3 to 1. Because if they don't buy from you, right, you're not allowed to buy their house, they're going to sell it to somebody else. So we want to stop to letting you feed your competition.
So here's a research study by the Challey Group. Like it says right there in front of you, only 18% of buyers will buy from a salesperson that doesn't match their personality versus the 82% successfully when the personality types align. And what does that mean to you? Go ahead and write this down. As Tony Robbins said, let your prospects determine your presentation. Go ahead and write it down. Let your prospects determine your presentation.
Well, that is when it occurred to Sherry Tree. Wait a minute. If there's 4 different types of people, should we have 4 different sales presentations or 4 ways to approach her customer? And yet, how many sales presentations do most of us have? 1. And that is a great mistake.
So you see, B.A.N.K was designed to help increase your sales in less time. Now, that made sense to me. So by learning how to speak the buying language of your customer, whether it be a homeowner, you're talking with a contractor, or someone to buy the house, let me give you a quick analogy. So there are 4 blocks, and they represent the different personality types. So let's say the blue block, that's going to be your baseline, and we're going to relate it to languages. So primary is English, all right? So that's where we're starting. Now the red blocks, that's going to be Spanish. I don't know Spanish. JB, you know Spanish?
Un poco.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, he does. All right. Well, the yellow block, that is the French speaking. Oui, bonjour, comment ça va? And the green block is German. Anybody know German here? No. I got it there. So if you're bilingual, that means you speak two languages. That means you have a chance to increase your sales 100%. If you're trilingual, where you can speak three languages, up to 200%. And if you can speak all four languages, that's where you could increase your sales up to 300%. Why? Because you are connecting and giving the right presentation to that homeowner that needs to sell their house to you.
Of course, you see, we've all heard probably over and over again that people will buy from you if they know you, like you, and trust you. But has it ever occurred to you the reason why they know you, like you, or trust you is the fact that you might be speaking their personality and matching? Mm-hmm. So chances are very high that you're speaking that correspondent personality. And sometimes you recognize those rock stars in certain companies that you might be involved with, that they just know how to dance. They might not know how to teach it, but they just know how to dance in all four languages.
So a little bit of Sherry Tree. She got started in financial services in a commission-only position. Her first year, she crushed it, made $700. We hope you're, outperforming her, right? Over a 5-year period, Sherry invested heavily in her personal development. She studied every sales methodology she could get her hands on. She read the books, she listened to audio programs, she attended webinars, seminars, you name it. She hired coaches, and you know what? It paid off. She got her income up from $700 to $72,000
within a 5-year period.
Wow, but unfortunately, she didn't feel anything close to successful. Well, the reality is she was $30,000 credit card debt, living paycheck to paycheck, renting an apartment, couldn't qualify for a house, and driving a salvage titled BMW, playing the fake it till you make it. Have some of us done that? Maybe. Well, she heard this quote from Robert Kiyosaki: "Stop taking advice from people more messed up than you." And I said that, we've all got that brother-in-law who sits on the couch, drinks the beer, eats the chips, and he's telling you you're crazy trying to buy houses, right? We all have them. Well, and she thought, I'd better figure out how to fix the situation. So what she asked herself was she broken, or was it, and how could she fix it? Or perhaps she was not broken. Maybe it was she just wasn't cut out for sales. Perhaps it was the system that she was trained in. Now, she discovered that she actually wasn't broken. In fact, the system, the advice she kept getting over and over and over again. Once she discovered the missing link and she applied it to her sales practice, well, that's the BANK methodology. Sherry skyrocketed her income, taking her income in a single year from $72,000 to over $500,000. Bang, a success.
Now go ahead and, how would you like to raise your income? Go ahead and raise your hand. Anyone? Or thumbs up? Awesome. The best part about using BANK that made her more efficient and reduced her work hours. She was doing about 60 to 80 hours a week, hustling and grinding, calling, and just going all over the place, to down to about 20 to 30 hours a week, 7 times her results. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone would mind, working less hours, being more efficient, and producing more, right? Yeah. Well, the key for Sherry Tree is to keep doing it. But within 3 years versus the 5 years, she was able to raise her income to over $1 million. Of course, her sales dramatically increased, and rather than just keeping it to herself, she decided to choose to share it to the world.
San Francisco State University conducted a formal study on the BANK methodology. They wanted to prove if whether or not this was even valid. This is an original, and does it work? So they published their findings in a white paper, which we are happy to give you a copy at the end, proving that BANK does predict buying behavior.
Now this, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the sales velocity equation. Even in all my training in mastery, I didn't learn this until I learned more about BANK. So did you know that in this formula, the most important factor is the length of the sales cycle, which is on the bottom, right? A good example is how long does it take to get, once you have a lead, maybe it's to buy a house, to get it renovated, and to get it sold. Now, as you can see on the top, there's 3 factors. Well, the number of sales opportunities, right, that you're working on, the average deal value, and of course, win rate, which means your close rate, right? So you're talking to 10 homeowners. How many houses are you buying, right? Now, if you realize that you could increase the bottom by 10%, you can actually increase your sales by 47%. 47%. And that's by using the BANK methodology. So it's going to help you make more sales, less time, and the measuring tool, you can actually see the results when you put this to place. Great.
Well, it's time to get real. Very simple formula known as the opportunity cost. So go ahead, get a paper, pencil, calculator, and a box of tissues. On average, a sales professional makes about $58,000 a year. But for easy numbers, we'll round it up to $60,000. So what did you make in the last 12 months? Go ahead and write that down. For example, 60,000. Now go ahead and multiply it by 3. In our case, for the example you're seeing before you, that's 180,000. 180,000 extra dollars that could have been produced. Now, what happens if you decide to work in your industry another 20 years? So you go ahead and multiply your triple number with the 20 or whatever number of years you plan to remain in working. That adds up to $3.6 million that you're leaving on the table, spoon feeding your competition. Ouch. What could have you guys done with that type of income?
We look at this quote from Albert Einstein. Wake up, Darlene, right? Any fool can take complicated things, but it takes a genius to keep them simple, just to simplify them. And that is one of the many benefits when you apply the BANK to your sales moving forward. Now, you guys should know this one. We all know that system is an acronym for what? I can hear you say it. Type it in that chat box. It is, right? They teach us in mastery. Save yourself time, energy, money, right? And so we're going to explain what the system is, because we're all about systems of fortune builders, BANK, and how it applies to you.
So the first personality type in BANK, the B stands for blueprint. Notice how we use the color blue. Think of this person a little bit colder to approach. The blueprint is someone who is inside the box, conservative by nature and risk averse. A few values of the blueprints are structure, systems, planning. Now, for me, a blueprint, I was raised by blueprints. My personality code is high K, high nurturing, and blueprint is my last. So being raised by blueprints, they were always constantly on me about like, what's your plan? Where's your steps? Even when it came to purchasing my first home, they were on me about what are you doing first? You know, you better make sure to read the contract. And it was like, I was just going insane. I'm like, I got this, you know, like I'm very high K nurturing. So it's like, I had done my research. I knew what I wanted. You know, and I trusted the people I had, you know, negotiated with. But once I learned BANK, it made me realize a little, you know, understand my family a little more why they were on me. Because back then I'm like, oh my God, these people are just with all their rules and regulations are driving me nuts.
And one of the things about fortune builders, systems, boy, if you're not blueprint, it's follow the system. I could see where it could be challenging, right? Because I've had some students say, why do we have to do this system? Why do we have to do all that? Probably not strong blueprint. The second one in BANK is action. That's the second personality type. And A stands for action, right? And we use red, right? They roll with the red carpet. These are the movers, the shakers, and the millionaire makers, right? Now they act like they drank Red Bull for breakfast. And they love to be treated like VIPs. Now, action goes one speed. You guessed it, boom, fast. All right. Now, the action is someone who's kind of outside the box, very expressive, risk takers, right? And a few key values of action is flexibility, right? They can go with the flows, opportunities, and yes, competition is, and they enjoy having fun. Anybody think out there? Just put a in the chat box, or no, actually give you a thumbs up. How many think that that might be me? I might have just been talking about myself. Put your thumbs up if you think I just might be an action person. Look at them go. You are correct. And one of the cool things about action is we like to get things done. Now, with me, it's like following the system. When I learned how to, with fortune builders, okay, we got to do this. Got it. Okay, let's just get her done. Now, action with some students over the period might have been at the end. It's kind of like, I got to learn it all before we action. No, we're always telling you, get into action and get into actions. And I'll explain a bit more how you can use it in a minute.
The third personality type in BANK is N for nurturing. As you can see, it's warm like the sun, sweet like the honey. They are the type that like to recycle the box. Core few values that they have is relationship, community, while obviously contributing to a bigger cause other than themselves. So like a quick story, my nurturing being high in the sense of my personality, sometimes it just comes off as too much for the other personality types because I really want to get to know you. I want to know your story. I want to get to figure out, like, are we meant to be friends? And could this be like forever friends? And of course, that's not everyone's personality type. Even my wife could tell you, sometimes I go into my Jesus mode because I'm so caring and trying to save everyone under the sun. And of course, that's not for everyone, and you'll lose relationships and opportunities, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. And as we go into our fourth and final personality type.
Yes, the high K. That's my code right there. So notice that we use the color green. This is someone who likes numbers. I love numbers, data, a whole lot of information, like Microsoft Excel, spreadsheets, or like the movie Matrix. You see all the little green numbers coming down? Yep, I like that. The knowledge type is someone who engineers the box. They collect data, analyze, and innovates their own clothes because they must be right. My husband can tell you that. I am always right.
If you say so.
A few pieces of the knowledge are learning, logic, researching, and technology. And so, yeah, it's just like I was saying, I love to do the research. I like to know the data. And even in our practice, when we work together, he's all nurturing and just trying to help out. And while I'm pulling out the medical books, trying to figure out, wait, let me do some research before I touch you any further, because I need to know exactly what I'm doing to you, and I have to be right. So that's just a little bit of our relationship when it comes to our business.
Also, one cool tip to write down.
Yes.
An action personality. You'll know you're dealing with an action personality is because they buy faster. While a knowledge personality,
we take the longest.
They ask a million questions because they have to make sure they're right. So they pretty much close themselves.
Exactly.
One of the cool things with that, using the bank, if you didn't already notice, we each are a different code, right? So we bring a lot to the table in that. And you're thinking, how do I use that as a realtor? Well, it's knowing the person. If they're a knowledge, well, that's where they want to know the square footage, the cost per square footage, what are their comps, what is the dimensions, all that, right? Tell me, put a thumbs up if you know some of those people. Now, if they're action, they're like, okay, let's go. Okay, we look at this house. I want to see these 3 houses in the next hour. Okay, great. Let's move on. If they're nurturing, right, that's where someone, listen, I want you to come into the house, get into the kitchen, kind of picture yourself, right? Can you see yourself cooking in this kitchen, right? All throughout. And if they're blueprint, well, they want to know what the system is. Okay, first of all, I need to ask you some questions. I'm going to pick out some homes. We're going to visit the homes. Once you visit, you decide which one you like, and then we're going to make an offer. And then we're going to make sure you get the money, and your offer is going to be accepted, and then you're going to move in and live happily ever after. Did you notice the different conversations? The same thing when we're talking to homeowners, right? Do you ever go to some homeowners and they're just like, Whew, a lot of times that's when you really got to bring out the nurturing because they're in situations. And sometimes you think they're just not getting it, right? So that's where you have to, if it's a knowledge person, then you certainly got to get into more data. And even using this with contractors, right? We all talk about in affordability how to interview contractors, and you can certainly tell, oh my, and we've all experienced, do they have any systems at all, right? They're just probably a nurturing person. They're just kind of, they got the truck with all the garbage everywhere. I know you've seen some of them. And then you got the guy driving up with a nice big truck and tools are all situated. You know how to communicate with these people ASAP in a better way. And I know that your mind is thinking, yeah, Darlene, I think about that. That does make sense. We've experienced. And if you haven't experienced, you will. And then you're going to remember to say, oh, yeah, you're one of them. And don't say it to them out loud. Just think it in your mind as such. All right. So that's just a quick example. And there's more of how you use it in real estate, right? Many different ways. And, one of the things is if you look at JJ, remember we talk about nurturing, building relationships. He's got the nurturing down pat. Now, what is your bank code? And I think you might have all related to one of them as we talked about it. So are you just sitting there trying to analyze your own self? Well, with your bank code, might be right. But the real question is, what's the bank code of your clients, the people that you're dealing with? Now, here is where research has proven not learning the bank code can just continue on speaking to your own codes. You can only get about 4% of your sales closed, right? When we talked about the homeowners. Now, if guessing the primary code, well, then you have a 22% chance of closing the sales. If you actually know the full bank code, you increase the likelihood of closing the sales, talking the right language, connecting with them right off the bat, 75%. Wow. Now that's incredibly important to stop playing the number game and actually playing the what. You wrote it down before. Hey, we're in the people business game. Learning the full code can do that. And that leads us to this.
So are you ready to crack your customer's personality code and take it to the bank? Awesome. So would you like to learn more about your bank code? Great. We will give you that link at the end.
So you're thinking, who's Bank perfect for? Well, here's what we've found. Whether product, service, or relationship, it works. Got clients in more than 100 different countries, in multiple different industries, and they're getting excellent results. The responses we hear, that may be a better spouse. And certainly Rebecca and JB has an example of that. They've made me better parents, right? If you had that case where I just don't get it. My kid doesn't want to play ball. They want to do this. They just want to sit and read, right? Well, action, their knowledge. And so that's been. And it can make you a better leader. And we can go on. And it actually has saved many lives when you start understanding. I've experienced this in some organizations. So by using the bank system, it's going to give you the competitive edge.
Now you're ready for AI demonstration. One of the tools that we use in Codebreaker.
Artificial intelligence. We're going to do a live demo for you. This is even more exciting on how. You might have heard a little bit of artificial intelligence in maybe some different ways. We're going to show you another way of how to actually put it to use in split seconds, just like this. And this follows up with using social media, right? And so JB is going to go to somebody's social media site, and he's going to actually, I thought somebody's site, this is where he should have used JJ. This is a perfect example there. And he's going to put that in the AI and see how I'm speaking. Back to you, JB.
So say we're looking to connect with Darlene. We happen to come across her LinkedIn account. We go to her about her, and we have a strong possibility thinking that she's the one that wrote her own presentation, not an assistant. We're able to copy and paste her little demonstration. You could do a text, you can have her talk into the app, or you can upload a file that was written by Darlene. But we're going to use LinkedIn About section. All you have to do is press decode, and within seconds, it cracked her code. So at this moment, her code is blueprint, nurturing, knowledge, and action. So if we wanted to respond, let's just say, let's meet up and sell our house. This tool is going to let you know that you're not speaking the right code. So let's say we actually wrote leveraging the tool and knowledge of this technology. So when is the next available time, set an appointment together so we can start processing the application. Will greatly help plan out our situation. Great job. This response is most likely going to get an interaction or response from Darlene. And of course, you submit and send that message. Now, is that your current code?
No. I thought I was action. Where did my blueprint just arise into the systems, right? And you can actually see how, getting leads, right? How you can respond to them as well. Create another example of using that AI demonstration. And that might be new to some of you. Just put the thumbs up on the screen if that's a new concept to you.
Definitely, because the tool itself, again, will let you know who that person is at that moment. And realistically, at that time when Darlene created that, her target clientele was those type of people, someone that's organized and wanted some kind of connection. So lo and behold, she developed a system and a community that helped her prosper.
So we want to thank you for your time today. Did you get a lot of value out from this presentation, and would you like to apply B.A.N.K in the system to get results? Yes? Okay, perfect. So we are going to go over different options and show you the pricing. But before we do that, we want to introduce to you a concept called the training investment formula from Brian Tracy. Here is a simple formula on how to make decisions whether this investment is worth your time, your energy, and your money. If the return of investment is greater than the cost of training, then the answer is yes every single time, right? Yes.
So we want you to ask yourself, how many sales do I have to get this training paid for, right? Is it a sale a week? Is it a sale a month? What does it really take? Well, let's show you the investment price of using the tools. And when you realize, even for us personally, that this absolutely made sense. And that's why we became a customer using B.A.N.K in our business.
So it's very simple. There are 3 subscription levels. They're all month to month with no startup costs, and you can cancel at any time.
A good option is Codebreaker Connect, and that's simply $29 a month, and that's where you can crack codes unlimited. And the other cool thing is you get a gift to your prospect, and also make sure you try this yourself, a $99 B.A.N.K report with the B.A.N.K Pass. Plus you get a BRCM, right? And that's where it is a system, yes, to organize the prospects, the information. It's less than $1 a day.
The B.A.N.K Pass, the B.A.N.K CRM, the Codebreaker AI, and Google Chrome, all for simply $59 a month. And of course, your subscription is just less than $2 a day. And as long as you have a subscription to this or above, you can access that AI tool that we just showed you from your phone.
And the best option is the Codebreaker Explorer for only $99 a month. And you get all access of B.A.N.K Pass, the BCRM, the Codebreaker AI that we demonstrated, the Google Chrome extension, and of course the B.A.N.K Vault, which 24/7, 365 days, you get an exclusive access, members only inside the Vault podcast from the founder herself and creator, Sherry Tree, for less than $4 a day.
So as you're evaluating it, right, you could look at paying tens of thousands plus for attending courses on our schedule versus $99 a month training on your schedule when you are available. Again, there's no strings attached. Each subscription is simply month to month.
So if you want to keep providing your competitors that triple-digit number that you were just calculating earlier today, just continue doing what you're doing. Or if you're ready to change that, consider subscribing and leveraging these tools and training. Of course, this is also tax deductible, but verify with your tax person.
So the next level is the Bank IRS Business Coaching Program, where you'll be coached through the 6 bank intelligences. It is personality, sales, emotional, artificial, business, and spiritual sales in either 3 months, 6 months, and a year terms. And what I like about this program is not only you're going to get coached by Darlene, but also us too. So it's 3 coaches for the price of 1. And so like this, it starts from either $14.99 or up to $4,999 with plus the $99 a month subscription.
All right. And remember, our friend Tony Robbins says, in moment of decision, your destiny is shaped, right? Just as the same as your moment was, before you joined the mastery program. My friends, we're going to let you know right now that that's one of the moments that has the potential to change your destiny, change your income, impact your relationships, and your business by simply learning the bank methodology and having access to the tools, the trainings, the technology, and the AI. That was just the tip of the iceberg that we had time to show you. If it wasn't, we wouldn't be here.
As a matter of fact, Sherry Tree was the founder of this wonderful book, Why They Buy. And we hope you took awesome notes.
And if they'd like to get a copy of the book, yeah, we can let them know how to get a copy of the book.
And like Barbara Corcoran said from the Shark Tank, this book is remarkable, new, and a simple approach for closing sales that will definitely increase your income.
So, hey, if you want to crack your code one-on-one, we'll certainly provide that link to you as well. We appreciate you, letting us have this time to bring these tools to you. It was interesting. I read some comments in there, how scary it is to talk to people. This can help, yes. And if you haven't been enjoying sharing this Caring Tips of the Day video that I've been sharing in this private Facebook group, please join them. Hey, educational. Sometimes you just need a good laugh as well. The last one was Friday the 13th. So you can reach me also, info@darlenesmith.ca, crackmycode.com/Darlene, and over to the Dual Dragons.
Yes, if you have any questions on what we do outside of this, again, you can reach us at the jdr@dualdragons.com. And if you're interested in learning your personality or at least an explanation, just make sure you crack your code with either or.
Mm-hmm.
It's free. And you get that report. I think it's like 24, 26 pages of great stuff. I don't know if Mark is on here tonight or today or whatever afternoon it is. He's cracked his code. I think a few of you have as well. Hey, you guys have been an awesome group. Thank you for the time. You got some questions a little bit more on how it applies to real estate and seeing success in there. We'll certainly do that.